First Contact and Discovery. Captain Elena Reyes stood at the viewport of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon, watching the stars streak past as they traveled through the fringes of explored space. Her dark eyes reflected the cosmic light, her weathered face marked with the lines of a decade spent commanding deep space missions. This was supposed to be a routine survey of the Arcturus system, cataloging potential habitable planets for future colonization efforts. Routine until the scanners detected something impossible. "Captain, you need to see this," called Lieutenant Navian Sharma from his station at the sensor array. His usually calm voice carried an edge of disbelief. Elena moved quickly to his side, leaning over the display. The readings showed an artificial structure, massive and clearly not human in origin, orbiting the fourth planet. "Run diagnostics," she ordered. "Make sure this isn't equipment failure." "Already did, twice," Naveem replied. "It's real. And Captain, it's moving." The next 12 hours unfolded with military precision as the Horizon crew prepared for humanity's first confirmed alien contact. Elena's second-in-command, Commander Jackson Wei, coordinated the ship's defensive protocols while Communications Officer Maya Ortiz worked to establish potential means of interaction. When the alien vessel finally approached, it dwarfed the Horizon, a graceful behemoth of iridescent metal that seemed to shift colors as it moved, defying human engineering principles. "Receiving transmission," Maya announced, her fingers dancing across her console. It's in English." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a being with silvery skin that reflected light like polished metal. Its eyes were large and multifaceted, set in a face with features that seemed almost artistic in their arrangement. Not quite human, but recognizable. "Greetings, explorers of Earth," the being spoke, its mouth moving in perfect sync with the words. "I am Ambassador Elior of the Seldari Alliance. We have been observing your species for some time and believe the moment for formal introduction has arrived." Elena stepped forward. "I am Captain Elena Reyes of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. We represent the United Earth Government. We come in peace and with curiosity." The ambassador's expression shifted into what might have been a smile. "We anticipated as much. Your species has always displayed remarkable inquisitiveness. We would like to invite you aboard our vessel for further discussion. There is much to share, and," a momentary pause, "matters of some urgency to address." Within hours, Elena found herself leading a small delegation into the alien ship. The interior was a marvel of organic architecture, corridors that seemed to breathe, lighting that adjusted to their comfort without visible controls, gravity that felt precisely calibrated to Earth normal, despite the obvious physiological differences between humans and Seldari. Ambassador Elior led them to a circular chamber where several other aliens waited. They varied in appearance, some more insectoid, others almost reptilian, but all sharing that same silvery skin that seemed to shimmer with colors beyond the human visual spectrum. The Seldari Alliance encompasses 27 sentient species across this arm of the galaxy, Elior explained as projections of star systems materialized around them. "We have maintained peace for over 800 of your years through cooperation and shared advancement." "And why contact us now?" Elena asked. "Surely Earth must be primitive by your standards." A different alien stepped forward, taller than Elior with a more angular build. "I am Admiral Talon, head of Alliance Defense. We contact you out of necessity, Captain Reyes. Your species possesses something unique in our experience, something we desperately need." The holographic display shifted to show footage of human activities, athletes performing feats of endurance, emergency responders rushing into burning buildings, soldiers in combat zones continuing to fight despite injuries. "Your biological resilience is extraordinary," Talon continued. "You endure environmental extremes that would incapacitate most sentient life. Your physical recovery capabilities exceed anything in our collective experience. But most remarkably, the display showed humans engaged in various confrontations. Your capacity for calculated aggression, combined with strategic adaptability, is unmatched. Elena felt a chill. You've been studying us as potential weapons. As potential saviors, Elior corrected softly. The display changed again, showing a dark mass of angular obsidian ships. This is the Void Dominion. They emerged from the galactic core 50 years ago. They consume rather than communicate, assimilate rather than coexist. The Alliance has lost 17 worlds to them already. Our species evolved through cooperation. War is foreign to our nature, whereas humans have perfected it, Elena stated flatly. Admiral Talon's multifaceted eyes glinted. You misunderstand, Captain. It is not merely your capacity for violence that interests us. It is your paradoxical nature. You create art of breathtaking beauty, then fight to the death to protect it. You form deep emotional bonds, then channel those emotions into unrelenting defense of your loved ones. You question authority constantly, which makes you unpredictable tacticians. Commander Wei spoke up for the first time. So you want to recruit humans as soldiers for your war. We wish to invite Earth to join the Alliance, Elior said carefully, with full benefits of membership, technological exchange, cultural enrichment, protection. And yes, we hope that some humans might choose to serve in defense capacities. The journey back to Earth was tense with the weight of what they carried. First contact, an invitation to join a galactic community, and the shadow of an imminent war. Elena spent long hours in her quarters reviewing the data provided by the Seldari, searching for deception or manipulation. She found none, only the stark reality of an advanced civilization facing an existential threat and seeing potential salvation in humanity's complicated history with conflict. The United Earth Council debated for weeks. Some saw opportunity, a chance to leapfrog centuries of technological development. Others feared exploitation or cultural contamination. The military establishment was simultaneously intrigued by advanced weaponry and suspicious of alien intentions. They're afraid of us, Elena told the council during her testimony. The Seldari. I could see it in the way they moved around us, the subtle flinching when one of us made a sudden gesture. They're peaceful to their core, evolved beyond the capacity for warfare. And they're terrified of what's coming for them. So they want to use us as cannon fodder, General Acosta countered. They want to use our natural abilities, Elena corrected, and in return, offer us the stars. After months of negotiation, Earth reached a decision. They would join the Alliance conditionally, beginning with military cooperation against the Void Dominion. Elena found herself appointed as the first human liaison officer, tasked with overseeing the initial deployment of volunteer forces. The first training cohort assembled on a Seldari orbital platform beyond Mars. 500 veterans from Earth's militaries. Elena watched them arrive, each carrying the hope and apprehension of humanity with them. Major Darius Chen, formerly of the Pan-Asian Combined Forces, approached her on the observation deck. Captain Reyes. Never thought first contact would lead to me learning to use alien weapons. Elena smiled. None of us did, Major. The Seldari instructors are. Interesting, Chen continued. They keep talking about our natural aggression, like it's both terrifying and precious. One of them actually flinched when I raised my voice during drills. They evolved differently than we did, Elena replied. Without predators or significant resource competition on their worlds. The concept of fighting for survival is academic to them, and yet now they need us to fight for their survival, Chen observed. As the humans trained with increasingly advanced Seldari technology, Elena noticed the Alliance observers growing both impressed and disturbed. Human adaptability meant they mastered complex weapon systems in days rather than the expected months. Their tactical suggestions often contradicted centuries of Seldari military doctrine, but proved effective in simulations. They improvise constantly, one Seldari military advisor complained to Elena. The equipment modifications they've made violate at least 12 safety protocols. But they work better, Elena pointed out. That is not the issue, the advisor insisted. Predictability and adherence to established parameters ensure coordinated response. Your people, they changed the parameters. 4 months into training, the Void Dominion struck a Caldari colony just 6 light-years from the training facility. With the nearest Alliance fleet 3 days away, the human contingent volunteered to respond. Admiral Talon hesitated, then agreed. The colony has 8,000 civilians. Evacuation ships are en route but need time. Can your forces delay the Dominion? Major Chen stepped forward. We can do more than delay them. Admiral, we can drive them back. As the hastily assembled human strike force prepared for their first real combat, Alina caught Chen checking his equipment one final time. Making history today, Major, she said quietly. Chen nodded. Let's hope it's the kind worth remembering, Captain. The Caldari had never seen anything like the human counterattack that followed. Where Alliance doctrine called for measured defensive actions and orderly withdrawal when outnumbered, the humans struck with calculated ferocity at weak points in the Dominion formation. They used terrain features the Caldari had never considered tactically relevant, modified their weapons in the field to overcome Dominion defenses, and continued fighting with injuries that would have incapacitated any Alliance species. From the command center, Alina watched the Caldari observers cycle through shock, horror, and finally grim appreciation as the humans not only held the line but pushed the Dominion forces back from the colony. This is why you need us, she told Admiral Talon. Not because we're violent, but because we've learned to channel that violence. Because on Earth, sometimes you have to fight for peace. As the Dominion ships retreated from the system, Alina knew that humanity's role in the galaxy had irreversibly changed. They had proven themselves to be what the Caldari suspected, warriors unlike any the galaxy had seen before, war gods awakened from a slumbering world. And she wondered what that would mean for humanity's future among the stars. Battlefield evolution. The news traveled faster than the ships carrying the victorious human forces back to base. Across Caldari Alliance territory, the story spread. Humans had not just defended a colony, but had driven the Void Dominion back with minimal casualties. Species that had never heard of Earth just months earlier now spoke of humans with a mixture of hope and unease. On the Caldari command ship Radiant Accord, Captain Alina Reyes stood before a holographic display showing the rapidly changing front lines of the conflict. Red markers indicating Dominion-controlled systems had receded for the first time in years. The Council requests expansion of the human contingent, Admiral Talon informed her. Current proposal is for 5,000 additional personnel, with prioritization of special operations backgrounds. Alina studied the alien's face, noticing the subtle signs of discomfort she'd learned to recognize. Your military advisors have reservations. Talon's multifaceted eyes flickered. Some concerns have been raised about integration protocols. Human tactical approaches do not align with established doctrine. That's precisely why they're working, Alina pointed out. The Dominion adapted to your doctrines long ago. We're the variable they can't predict. Yes, Talon acknowledged. However, there are also concerns about restraint. Alina remembered the footage from the colony defense. Humans fighting with a ferocity that had shocked their alien allies, continuing through injuries, using improvised weapons when standard ones failed, setting traps that the Caldari considered unnecessarily brutal. Our soldiers follow the rules of engagement, she said firmly. No civilians have been harmed. It is not civilian casualties that concern us, Talon replied. It is the psychological impact on our own forces. Many Caldari troops have requested reassignment after witnessing human combat methods. 3 months later, the expanded human forces had been integrated into the Alliance military structure, at least on paper. In practice, they operated with significant autonomy. Major Chen, now colonel after the restructuring, commanded the largest human battle group from the retrofitted Earth carrier Artemis. Alina joined him on the bridge as they prepared for their next deployment. The ship hummed with activity, human crew working alongside Caldari technical advisors, who still seemed perpetually startled by the noise and energy of their human counterparts. Morale is high, Chen reported. The Celldery tech, combined with our tactical approaches, is proving devastating to Dominion forces. We've reclaimed 3 systems in the past month. The Alliance Council is impressed, Alina confirmed. But I'm hearing concerns about how quickly we're advancing. The Celldery expected us to bolster their defensive lines, not lead offensive operations. Chen's expression hardened slightly. With respect, Captain, holding defensive positions would just prolong the war. The Dominion adapts too quickly. We need to keep them off balance, strike where they don't expect us. I agree, Alina said. But we need to remember this isn't just our war. We're part of a coalition. A coalition where we're doing most of the fighting, Chen observed. The conversation was interrupted by a priority alert. A Dominion battle group had been detected approaching Viridian, a major Alliance manufacturing hub. The Artemis altered course immediately to intercept. As they moved to combat stations, Alina noticed Captain Leora, the Celldery liaison officer, reviewing tactical displays with growing alarm. This formation suggests a significant Dominion presence, Leora said. Alliance protocols would recommend withdrawal and regrouping with the defense fleet at Viridian. We're not withdrawing, Chen stated flatly. If we engage them here, we can prevent them from reaching the planet at all. Our combat models indicate, Leora began. Your models don't account for human tactics, Chen interrupted. We're going to hit them while they're still in transit formation, before they can organize for planetary assault. As the Artemis and its battle group dropped out of faster-than-light travel, they found themselves facing a Dominion force twice the size of what intelligence had suggested. The Obsidian ships, angular and predatory in design, were already adjusting their formation to respond. All ships, execute maneuver Thunderbolt, Chen ordered calmly. Alina watched as the human vessels broke formation in ways that must have appeared chaotic to outside observers, but followed a complex pattern they had developed during training. Instead of concentrating fire on the largest Dominion vessels, as Celldery doctrine dictated, they targeted propulsion systems and communication nodes across multiple ships simultaneously. The battle that followed defied conventional analysis. Human crews pushed their ships beyond safety parameters, executed maneuvers that the Celldery had calculated as survivably impossible, and coordinated with an intuitive efficiency that their alien allies found both impressive and disturbing. When a Dominion breacher ship managed to latch onto one of the human cruisers, instead of abandoning the vessel as Alliance protocols suggested, the human crew sealed compartments and continued fighting room by room. The Dominion boarders, accustomed to enemies that retreated before their advance, found themselves caught in choke points against defenders who seemed to grow more determined with each setback. From the Artemis Command Center, Alina monitored the battle alongside the increasingly agitated Celldery advisors. They're going to get themselves killed, Captain Leora insisted as one human destroyer dove between 2 Dominion cruisers, absorbing punishing fire to deliver a critical strike. Maybe, Alina acknowledged, but they're also going to win. 3 hours later, the remaining Dominion vessels retreated. The human fleet had suffered significant damage and casualties, but had completely disrupted the attack on Viridian. As damage reports and casualty figures came in, Alina noticed Leora studying the tactical data with an expression she couldn't quite read. "Something wrong, Captain?" she asked. "These tactics," Leora said softly, "they shouldn't have worked. The risk calculations alone would have prohibited such approaches in any Alliance strategic model. Humans have a different relationship with risk," Alina explained. "Sometimes we accept a higher probability of failure because the alternatives are unacceptable." "It is more than that," Leora insisted. "Your species seems to thrive in chaos. While others seek to impose order, you harness disorder itself as a weapon." Before Alina could respond, she received an urgent message from Admiral Talon requesting her immediate presence aboard the Alliance command ship. The tone was formal, lacking the collaborative spirit of previous communications. Upon arrival, she was escorted to a secure chamber where several high-ranking Celldery waited. Their posture conveyed tension, and the usual courtesies were notably absent. Captain Reyes, Talon began without preamble. We have intercepted communications from the Void Dominion. They are requesting armistice talks. Elena felt a surge of hope. That's excellent news. The strategy is working. The communications were most specific. Another Saldari official interrupted. They wish to negotiate with humans directly. They refer to your species as the true power within the Alliance. The atmosphere in the room grew heavier with unspoken concern. I see, Elena said carefully. And this troubles you because you fear we might negotiate separately. That is one concern, Talon acknowledged. Another is that we have detected modifications to the neural interfaces in the combat suits provided to your troops. Modifications made without Alliance authorization. Elena maintained her composure, though the revelation didn't entirely surprise her. What kind of modifications? A holographic display activated, showing the technical schematics of the neural interface built into the advanced combat armor. Highlighted sections revealed monitoring systems and override protocols that had never been disclosed to the human forces. You were watching us, Elena stated, and had the capability to control our troops if deemed necessary. A safeguard, Talon said defensively. Your species' capacity for violence was exactly what you recruited us for. Elena finished sharply. Did you really think we wouldn't discover this? Or did you assume we'd be too primitive to understand your technology? The modifications have been disabled. A different Saldari spoke up. By your technical crews. Quite ingeniously, I might add. The control systems are inactive while appearing to function normally in diagnostics. Elena allowed herself a small smile. Humans don't like being controlled, Admiral. We value our autonomy as much as you value your consensus. The tense meeting continued for hours as both sides recalibrated their understanding of their alliance. The Saldari admitted their fears about humanity's unpredictable nature and capacity for violence. Elena acknowledged human ambitions might extend beyond serving as Alliance shock troops. Eventually, a new framework emerged. Humans would represent themselves in the armistice talks, but as part of the Alliance delegation. Earth would receive full membership status rather than the provisional arrangement initially proposed. And human military forces would retain their autonomy while coordinating more transparently with Alliance Command. 2 weeks later, Elena stood beside Colonel Chen as they prepared to enter the neutral space station where the Dominion representatives waited. The talks would determine the shape of galactic politics for generations to come. They're scared of us, Chen observed quietly, watching the Dominion delegation through the viewport. The obsidian-armored figures moved with military precision, but kept glancing toward the human contingent. So are our allies, Elena replied. Fear and respect often look similar from a distance. What do you think happens after peace? If we achieve it, Chen asked. Humans are scattered across Alliance territory now. We've seen technologies we never imagined. We won't go back to being isolated on Earth. Elena watched as the doors to the conference chamber began to open. No, we won't. For better or worse, the galaxy now knows what humanity is capable of. We've become something new out here among the stars. War gods, Chen said with a hint of irony. Perhaps, Elena replied. But we're more than that. We're builders and explorers too. Let's hope we can show them that side of humanity now. As they stepped forward to help shape the future of interstellar relations, Elena reflected on how far they had come since that first encounter on the horizon. Humanity had proven itself on the battlefield, demonstrating why even advanced civilizations might fear their potential. Now came the harder challenge, proving they deserved a place among the stars not just as warriors, but as partners in peace. And somewhere in the vast darkness between galaxies, other intelligences watched with growing interest as a young species from an unremarkable yellow star took its place on the cosmic stage, unpredictable, resilient, and blazing with potential that could either illuminate the galaxy or reduce it to ashes.